Welcome to Evolve, Mastery for Leading a New World, with CEO and award-winning author Yvette Bethel. This podcast is dedicated to supporting leaders with a variety of solutions to build trust, inspire authentic change, and improve morale within your organization. Learn how to grow your people, build your culture, and transform your results.
Welcome to Evolve, Mastery for Leading a New World. I'm your host, Yvette Bethel, and today's episode is about confronting the personality of your organization. I once met with a group of managers, and we had what turned out to be a spirited conversation about why it makes sense for them to show members of their teams that they care about and value them. One manager blurted, "I don't have time to spoon feed adults." Another explained she was always told to get the work done and not care about the people. She went on to say, "It sounds like she has to spend too much time caring about how people feel." Was really a reflection of what the culture accepts as normal and what it rejects. Caring about people, even though it can build collaboration and enhance team results, was being blatantly and vigorously rejected because the managers present were conditioned to think in this way. Some authors describe organizational culture as the personality of the institution. In psychology, a personality is the combination of individual characteristics embodied in the patterns of feeling, thinking, and behaving. Now, when you encounter the personality of an organization, you will notice patterns of collective feeling, thinking, and behaving. These patterns become norms. And when the patterns are dysfunctional, if you attempt to remove or expose the cultural mask, you can face pure, unadulterated emotions, ones that were safely hidden behind the mask. Sometimes a dysfunctional organizational culture can influence members of a team into banding together in close formation to do whatever it takes to protect and preserve a perverted value system that idolizes features like control, power, status, and high salaries. These values become the standard for what is right and acceptable and what isn't. What's interesting to note is that coworkers may comply with the prevailing value and behavioral systems at work and demonstrate completely different behaviors in the home environment, indicating that some cultures are so powerful they can cause some persons to change to fit in. Cultural values can become blind spots. The blind spot of an eye is an optical disc within the retina that does not house photoreceptors. Even with one eye closed, the occluded spot in a person's field of vision is difficult to detect. Similarly, the blind spot within a culture can conceal facets of culture that may or may not prefer to remain undetected. As a leader, you need to be able to perceive the cultural blind spots. Like the eye analogy, what is not being seen is right in front of you. So you need to be able to perceive the personality of your culture so you can identify dysfunction that directly or indirectly affects team engagement and, by extension, your bottom line. Here are 3 questions you can use to understand your culture and its effect on your business. Firstly, what are the characteristics of your culture? Secondly, what's the value system behind it or behind them? Thirdly, what can you do to harness the strengths of your culture and minimize or eradicate the weaknesses? Your culture is not only linked to your past and present, it drives your future ability to attain team goals. Therefore, if it is not changing in a way that is synchronized with your external environment, it can become an obstacle to progress and sustainability, preventing plans for growth or expansion. Keeping abreast of external changes means decision makers should learn to perceive the forest and the trees simultaneously. despite how difficult it may be to get out of the trees. In this way, leaders can make the connections to as many versions of causality and effect as possible, with the ultimate goal of making better informed decisions. Some cultures exhibit groupthink, which is sometimes a narrow, controlled perspective of an organization. In fact, there are circumstances where the groupthink norms are so deeply ingrained within the psyche of the team that co-workers who perceive things differently are viewed as wrong or worse, as troublemakers. Confronting the personality of a culture can be difficult no matter how skillfully it's challenged. Reactions can range from frustration to righteousness, to hurt feelings, denial, or disbelief. In some organizations, leaders are aware of their cultures and work toward keeping them healthy. In others, leaders have a distorted view of their cultures because co-workers are in survival mode and therefore reluctant to say what's really going on. This is a slow road to demise or mediocrity if the culture of a team is not confronted. Unless your culture is deliberately designed to adapt in tandem with your ever-morphing external environment, it will resist change, even if the challenge is as simple as scheduling persons to attend the seminar. Statements like, "We're too busy," or "We are short-staffed," may seem to be viable reasons for the short term, but in the long term, departments can lose their best performers to organizations that will develop them. Confronting the personality of your organization should be a constructive and collaborative exercise, not a combative one. However, your approach, no matter how gentle, may cause the face of your culture to conceal itself. To the untrained eye, team members may attempt to hide the truth, giving the impression that everything is fine. To this, I recommend to all leaders: ask multiple questions to understand your current state. Observe emotion. Get the facts, and try to detect if persons are covering up or telling you what you want to hear. In other words, take the time to attune to your team so you can see past the mask and address hidden dysfunction before it's too late. Thank you for joining me at Evolve, Mastery for Leading a New World. Join me this and every Monday for a new episode. Until then, remember, take the time to understand the personality of your organization.
Thanks for listening to Evolve, Mastery for Leading a New World. Visit YvetteBethel.com to learn more about Yvette's leadership programs and to download her free gift, Success Tips for Igniting Your Career.